Good afternoon everyone. Today my topic will be whether a Hindu marriage is a sacrament or contract. If we talk about sacrament, Hindu marriage at that time, if we talk about traditional Hindu law, Hindu marriage was regarded as sacrament, which is very sacred. Sacred means holy, eternal. So during the traditional Hindu law, marriage was regarded as sacrament, which was very holy or very eternal. During that time, marriage was for begetting of a son. The purpose of marriage during the traditional Hindu law was of begetting a son, because at that time it was believed that if a son is born in a family, then he can give moksha to his ancestors. He can release the debts of his ancestors. So the purpose of marriage was begetting a son. And during that time it was also believed that marriage cannot be dissolved. It can, even the death cannot dissolve the marriage. So during that time it was called as sacrament, which means it cannot be dissolved. And other than this, at that time marriage was regarded as union of soul, union of a man and a woman, union of a man and a woman. Because at that time, women, once she gets married, she was regarded as Ardhangini of her husband. It was believed that a man was regarded half, and after this marriage he can be completed. So a wife was regarded as Ardhangini. Other than this, the wife was also regarded as Dharma Patni. Dharma Patni means she was there to help her husband to fulfill all his secular duties, or to help him assist his all his dharmas. So at that time it was regarded as sacrament. But after the Hindu Marriage Act, one more thing, prior to this act, there was no trace about marriage being a contract, or no trace about marriage getting dissolved. That means divorce. There was no question regarding divorce. But after the Hindu Marriage Act 1955 came into force, the provision of divorce was recognized. Other than this, widow remarriage was also recognized by this act. So, if we call it as a sacrament, is there any scope of divorce, or is there any scope of widow getting remarried? No. So, it is now not wholly a sacrament. Because if we call it a sacrament, it cannot be dissolved. But if a divorce takes place, it obviously will get dissolved. If a widow is about to get remarried, then that means a marriage has already been dissolved. So can we now call it as a sacrament? No, na. So now it is not recognized as holy sacrament. After the 1955 Act, marriage was taking a form of contract. But if we talk about contract, it is not like the commercial contract. Commercial contract. It was not like the commercial contract. If we take example of capacity of marriage, if we talk about contract, then a minor cannot come into a contract. A minor cannot enter into a contract. If a minor enters into a contract, then it will be regarded as a void contract. But in terms of marriage, a minor can get married. It is nowhere mentioned that a minor getting married is a void. It will be regarded as voidable. So in this term, it is different from the commercial contract. Other than this, if we talk about a person being unsound, if we talk about a general commercial contract, an unsound person cannot come into a contract. But in marriage, an unsound person can also marry, but that marriage will be regarded as a voidable marriage. So now we can conclude that marriage is not only a sacrament or not wholly a contract. Because if we talk about contract, it is a contract of a unique nature that is known as sui generis. Sui generis is being very unique. It is a contract, but a contract that is unique than the general, other or commercial contract. So now we can say that a marriage is a blend of sacrament and contract. We have seen that prior to the 1955 Act, marriage was regarded only as a sacrament because at that time it cannot be dissolved. Only even the death cannot make them apart. But after the 1955 Act, there were lots of conditions like where a marriage was also taking a form of contract. So now we cannot call it wholly as a sacrament or wholly as a contract, but it is a blend or mixture of contract and sacrament. So this is all for today. But by next class we'll talk about void and voidable marriage. Thank you.